If someone asks me that what is that best phase of your life you have had, I reply that it is the hostel life which I have lived for 3 long years in RVG Educational Foundation in Andheri, Mumbai. You know, it is said that the most elastic element in the world is time. It increases when we are waiting and decreases when we are enjoying. These 3 years in RVG Educational Foundation really prove this phrase because they have come and gone in the blink of an eye. Let me tell you, like until 18 years of age, I was completely dependent on my parents. My mom used to get me food to my room, and it was like I was literally spoon feeded for my 18 years of life. And one thing which I've already mentioned in my previous videos is that it's very important to move out of your comfort zone. If you stay in your comfort zone, then trust me, you won't be able to grow in your life. So in this video, I am going to share my entire experience of staying in a hostel. And if you haven't stayed in a hostel till now, then it's the best time for you to stay in a hostel, because that is a thing which will be the best decision of your life, and you're going to literally cherish and enjoy each and every moment over there. So as I told you that I was a very pampered child and I was very dependent on my parents, my mom and dad, they had both come to drop me to my hostel, and they had stayed in Mumbai for 2 to 3 days so that they saw that once I got settled in, that time only they left back to Nasik. And that was the thing. I realized that I was so dependent on them that I had to learn that how to stay alone and how to stay independent. I still remember my first day of the hostel. I was just a lost child. It was as if a kid has been lost in a fun fair and his parents are just finding him in that fun fair where he is lost. So that was the feeling which I was going through during my first day of hostel. So I was just wandering here and there, asking my friends, where's the canteen, where's the cafeteria, where's the warden, how do we speak to him if there's any complaint, where's the pillow, where's the blanket, everything. I was completely lost. And after that, I realized that it is so important to move out of your comfort zone, because you get to meet a lot of new people, you get to understand a lot of perspectives, and then you get to know how to tackle challenges by your own self. Each and every time, there's not going to be a person who's going to be there with you all the time. You have to become independent at least at one instance of your life, because towards the end, it is you who's going to help yourself. Nobody in this world is going to help yourself. So that's the thing which you really need to remember. So let me be very frank and let me tell you that what are some of the things which I have learned in my hostel life. So the first thing is networking and creating new friends. That is one of the things which I've learned in my hostel life. You know, like as I quote, that the best way to improve your communication skills is to talk to strangers freely. And that was the thing which I learned while having dinner and lunch in my hostel with new friends. So it was like I used to sit with completely new set of people each and every day, because there were 500 students in my hostel, and talking to them, understanding their perspectives, understanding their learnings, it used to add a lot of value in my life. Once you have an addiction of talking to new people, meeting people and understanding and learning some things from them, then your growth trajectory will be exponential. So that is one of the biggest things which I've learned during my hostel life. So I'll share this thing with you. Earlier, I was very reluctant to get into a hostel because of the restrictions which are placed. So some of the restrictions were that you can't reach hostel after 11:30 p.m. until and unless you have a letterhead of your articleship firm stating that you are working in that firm. Then there are restrictions like you cannot celebrate birthdays in the hostel, you cannot cut cakes in the hostel. So there were a lot of strict regulations. So that was the reason I was telling my dad that I don't want to get into a hostel, so let me just take a flat on rent in Mumbai and I'll just shift with 4 other friends and we'll be staying in a particular apartment. But he explained me and he was like that you will create a lot of good friends in your hostel. Instead of staying with just 4 people, you're staying with 500 different people. Imagine the amount of learning which you'll get from each and every one of them, and so many perspectives will be added in your life. And that was the thing I realized, that it really changed my life. If I would have stayed in a flat, trust me, I wouldn't have been the person which I am today. So that's the main reason I request every one of you to at least have an experience of staying in a hostel for 1 year at least, if not for 3 years. So let me share some funny incidences as well. We used to celebrate birthdays like animals, and let me tell you, it's not a hyperbole at all. We used to kick each other, we used to hit each other with any particular thing which used to be there in the room. And trust me, even by while watching this video, you would also realize that it was like we used to literally assault that person whose birthday was there. Everyone used to be so scared that if their birthday is arriving, they used to be like, अरे यार मेरे को अभी हॉस्टल में नहीं रहना है, मैं तो कहीं बाहर चले जाता हूँ, वरना तो बहुत ज़्यादा पिटाई होने वाली है. And that was the reaction and that was the feeling before birthdays could arrive. So literally, like, people are excited, right? कि birthday आ रहा है, चलो मस्ती करेंगे, मजा आएगा. In our hostel, it was the other way around. It was like, यार birthday आ रहा है, shit, अभी तो बहुत मार पड़ेगी, अभी तो यार बाहर जाना पड़ेगा. I still remember that 4 of my friends were suspended because they had like celebrated birthday in a very, very assaultive manner, and then they had to stay out of the hostel for 7 long days. So after 7 days, they came back. They had to apologize the warden and pay a penalty fee, after which they were able to stay back in the hostel. There's also an annual fest which is organized by RVG itself, the students of RVG, which is called as Agas. I think Agas was one of the best experiences I've had, because there were so many events which we had to organize. I used to be the anchor of so many events, and I also used to participate in a lot of events. So that really helped me in order to groom my personality, and I think that really helped me in order to improve my communication skills. There were so many events like Hunt and Click, where you have to click some funny pictures which are given in the task. Then there used to be a competition of Mr. and Miss RVG, who's going to become the Mr. RVG. So I remember I had participated in Mr. RVG, but unfortunately I couldn't clear, so I was the runner-up. And I still remember the introduction of my Mr. RVG contest. So if you just want to have a look at the introduction, it's a funny one, so you can just have a look at the introduction.
जैसे जीतने के लिए बना है रेस का घोड़ा, वैसे मिस्टर आरवीजी के लिए बना है कुशल लोढ़ा। प्यार में दीवाने हो जाते हैं लोग अक्सर, आगे जाके मैं बनना चाहता हूँ चीफ फाइनेंशियल अफसर। बॉलीवुड का सबसे फ्लॉप एक्टर है देओल बॉबी, प्लेइंग क्रिकेट एंड चेस इज माय हॉबी। बिना दही के नहीं खाते हम मैस के पराठे, दोस्तों मैं आर्टिकलशिप कर रहा हूँ इन गोखले एंड साठे। हॉस्टल में रात को 12 बजे बर्थडे मनाओगे तो लगेगा फाइन, आओ कभी नासिक शहर तुम्हें पिलाऊंगा सुला वाइन। और हाँ दोस्तों, एक बात तो मैं कहना ही भूल गया, जब मैंने शहर छोड़ा था ना, पूरा शहर मुझको छोड़ने आया था। मैं दिखता हूँ स्वीट इनोसेंट स्वामी टाइप का ना, लेकिन एक्चुअल में वो बहुत बड़े हरामी टाइप का।
So I hope that was really funny, but unfortunately I was not able to clear that contest. Apart from that also, there were various events like Counter-Strike competition or poetry competition, or then there used to be for cricket tournaments, football tournaments. So there were a lot of events which were organized by almost everyone. Each and everyone in the hostel was so talented, was able to get inspired by so many people. So we had one person who was a national level violinist player. We had a person who had been to nationals in singing, and there were a lot of other kind of people. So like it was one of the best experiences I've had. Because there were a lot of outings which were there. So I had gone to Pachmadi in Madhya Pradesh, in a hill station where like I had been to one of my friend's place, and we were a group of 3 people, and we had literally enjoyed a lot. Like the weather over there is just beautiful, as you can see in this image and the video which is being played. And trust me, like all these trips and all these memories which are there, they are just captured within my soul and within my body. So it's like, as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also says, sometimes it's okay to bunk your classes, because towards the end, marks aren't the things that are going to be remembered. It's the memories which you create are going to be remembered towards the end of your life. So I'm not demotivating you to study here, but the only point which I'm trying to say is that it's absolutely alright to have fun in your life, because life is a one-time offer. Then there was a person in our hostel who was very, very funny, and of course, like at sometimes he was very weird. He had like, I've never seen him getting angry, and he was like one of the funniest person to hang out with. So in this image you can see, like he was just asking a group of people that aise kaise ho gaya. So his way of asking is very different, like you can see in the image over here. So there were these kind of people. So you're getting it, the inspiration which I've been getting from almost all the kind of people in my hostel, that has been like terrific. And that's the reason I recommend all of you to just go to your hostel, go to some hostel and stay with some other set of people where you can understand and enjoy the exact fun which is there of staying in a hostel. Friday or Saturday night on a weekend, we used to make Maggie at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and we used to sleep by 4 5ish. So that had become a routine on every weekend, and I think these are some of the memories which are going to be remembered with me as I move ahead in the future. So towards the end, I just like to state that if you haven't experienced your hostel life, then just trust me, get into one of the hostel and have that fun, and trust me, you won't regret this decision. If I want to define hostel in one sentence, it's like hostel, we join crying, we leave crying. So I still remember towards the end, I had tears in my eyes when I was leaving that hostel, and because all the memories and all the friends who were there in my hostel, they were just being flashed in front of my eyes while I was just leaving the gate of my hostel. So I just like to thank everyone who's been there with me during this journey, especially the trustees and especially the friends who've been very supportive, because of whom I was able to get a rank in my CA finals examination. And my sincere appeal to all of you is that at least have that experience of getting into a hostel. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video was useful for all of you in terms of getting to know the art of moving out of your comfort zone and just understanding and just having that experience of enjoying the most in your hostel life. So thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video.